And good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 9th of December. Christmas is approaching. My super special guest star right here with me, Veronica Michael. Have you got all your Christmas shopping done?
Oh, please. My goodness.
Huh?
No way.
I bought one present so far, and that's the one I have to send to Germany. So that's the only one that I've got done. So
Good job.
yeah, I'm really glad I got that one done. Actually, I'm happy with that. And now, of course, it's sitting on my dining room table. Will I actually get it to the post office in time? But it's kind of a win-win for me because his birthday is January 3rd. So if it doesn't quite make Christmas, you see, well, it's your Christmas birthday gift. So I'm covered. So it'll work.
I think there are going to be a lot of nice handmade gifts this year. You know,
macaroni glued onto construction paper.
Who knows? Actually, I feel like a lot of people have been taking this isolation time to like get back to woodworking or sewing or doing some things that they hadn't really done for a while before. So I think more than macaroni, we're going to have more than macaroni.
I think most people have played video games and eaten. I don't know if you're following my Facebook page, but I am on a soup kick right now.
Oh.
I've been making soup. And this weekend I made, the first one I made was potato soup from garden potatoes, of course. And went over really, really, really big. Matter of fact, the kids ate it around a bonfire out in the yard. And they said they deemed it to be excellent. And the next one I made was corn chowder with pork sausage. And that one went over good. And then I made a dirty chicken noodle, as we call it, because you fry the chicken first. So it's got, the bits in the frying pan and stuff. So it's not that clear chicken consomme like you see in a Campbell's can, but rather it's got some color to it with big, wide egg noodles in it. So yeah, I've been on a building soup kick. So I have no gift. I guess I could put that in quarts and give that as here's my Christmas gift this year, a quart of soup. So that's as good as I can get. Well, did some testing of some friends hemp products over the weekend, and interesting. One of them that came in was little tiny buds. The buds weren't any bigger than my fingernail here. And I looked at them under a microscope and I'm going, yeah, I'm just wondering if there's anything there at all. Interesting. Just under the limit for THC. I'm sure they would pass. But are you sitting down?
Yeah.
14% CBD. Now, of course, this is just the bud. So I know that in your processing, you use more of the plant. So that would not be a cross plant. When you bring in your 1,000-pound vat of tote. When you bring in your 1,000-pound tote, I mean, I know it's not going to reference that across, but we never got a 14% reading in anything that we've grown so far. So
no, it's amazing, isn't it? I think sometimes we get tricked out that all the varieties produce the same when it comes to the size of the bud, somehow being correlated with the amount of the product that is really the cannabinoid content. So yeah, it's I think that material that we're talking about is the same that we've both laid hands on.
Yeah.
Even being able to smell it, it has a really terpene, beautiful smell.
It's just amazing. But I was just, isn't it funny how you have it in your hands and it's suspect, but the machine doesn't lie. I mean, and I know that because I put some of ours that I know that we've sent away and we have a real good cross-reference on following it up, and it was right on. So, it wasn't that the machine was kicking or something, and it's like, wow. So I have to call him today and tell him what my numbers are and see how that relates to, I know he sent it to other places. So just an interesting side note that I don't know that my machine has ever tested almost 15% for CBD. So I just thought that was just way, way beyond interesting. Let's get your name up here so it's forever emblazoned in.
Well, we got some interesting things to talk about today.
We do. Tuesday was not just the big election that made a lot of news, but here in the region, something really big has happened, and it's going to have ramifications for us because my state touches South Dakota for a long, long way, and your state touches South Dakota for a long, long, like 400 miles. And this is going to carry ramifications for our states. It might carry some new legislation for our states, but certainly it also has a reflection on the hemp business for both of our states. And that's going to be today we're only going to be able to ask questions about that. We don't have any answers about how that's going to go, but certainly there are going to be questions about that, because what does this mean? You know, on the one hand, and we're talking about South Dakota, and we're talking about that before Tuesday, it was not only very, very, very illegal to have any kind of marijuana in your possession in South Dakota. They even had a law that if you had used it in another state or country, not that it's pretty hard to fly into South Dakota from another country, but if they could test it in your system and you had absolutely used it in a legal place, but had it in your system yet in South Dakota, you were breaking the law. And they were not nice with you in South Dakota. Now, all of a sudden, the very first state, by, a huge margin,
69% of the population in South Dakota voted for this.
And then by 70-30. So it wasn't like one of these real close, let's have a recount kind of things. Decided that not only are they legalizing medical use of the cannabinoids, marijuana, and all of its forms, but they are legalizing adult recreational use, including your ability to grow 3 of your own plants.
Actually, that's one of the things that I thought was so really amazing that they did, is on the medical side, they really made sure to be clear that you could carry 3 ounces on your person, and that you could legally grow 3 plants of your own. And I was so surprised and just happy to see that ability for people to be able to not be bound to having to go to anyone else.
And now the interesting thing, though, is, and this is just an example, could John go down to the corner of South Dakota, not far from me here, even closer from you, and set up a high tunnel? And can I grow 3 plants for John Johnson and Bill John? Each person, can I custom grow 3 plants for them? And named, these are Joe Johnson's plants. These are Jim Johnson's plants. These are Mary Johnson's plants. I don't know if that's been defined yet, so that a person, because there is some skill to growing this product. If you think that you can just throw 3 seeds in your closet and grow them, it's not quite that easy. So, but this is the interesting thing. So now, at the moment on the books in South Dakota, they have a problem, because the laws read 2 different ways right now. Because the people have voted and turned into law one thing, and there are laws in the books saying another. So they will handle that. This is not, when I say it's a problem, this is bookkeeping now that has to be done. But this also, makes a big situation for us on the Minnesota side and on the North Dakota side, and really on the Nebraska side in the, what do we got over there? Wyoming, isn't it? Because certainly cars drive across the border with great freedom. There are people that farm on both sides of the border with great freedom. And Minnesota, of course, has the wackiest laws of any, because on the one hand, if you are an illegal pot smoker and you are caught with a little bit of raw flower, they only kind of like punish you just a little bit. But if you happen to get caught with flower that's been converted into some of the things that a person with a medical marijuana license can buy legally at a dispensary, then you're in big trouble. On the other hand, if you are a person that has a marijuana card and you can buy things legally at the marijuana store, you cannot buy raw flower that people would traditionally smoke. And if you get caught with raw flower, well, then it's the same thing as like you're just a person. But the thing is so it's really bizarre, because you're walking around buying things legally at a dispensary and you have your card for it and you're perfectly legal. The person next to you carries that stuff for you just by accident going to a picnic, and he or she is breaking the law. these things got to get all sorted out. And it's going to have to get sorted out even better because we have cross-border picnics and families and holidays and all of these things. Where it will go, I don't have a personal opinion on. The last thing that we want to finish up, though, is the the big mayor. What do you call the big mayor in a state? The governor of South Dakota came out, and she's against this. Even now, after the people have spoken, she thinks it's a big mistake and is publicly saying that. And I don't know if that's something she's just got to say, or I don't know.
Well, I think that, like you said, it's interesting. I mean, 69 point some percent of South Dakotans who voted for this. But the other thing that I think is important to tease out here, South Dakota is a unique state that they both passed medical and recreational at the same time.
First state ever.
Right? But let's not muddy the waters, because the intent of medical and the campaign that they put out in South Dakota was to help people who were having medical issues. So they were trying to define the law with the amount of that you could have on your person, the way that you could have plants. Now, I know what you said about the hoop, houses, and can you grow for someone else? But I think, I hope that they can remain with the intent of what they wanted to do for medical folks, so that people can have options and can stay firmly in the law. It's just surprising, though, right, that they did this both at once. And I hear you when you say there are challenges ahead, because it is a lot of work is ahead for them to better define what those both look like for them in their state. And to get on it, because South Dakota is a state that brings in a lot of revenue through people coming to visit and enjoy their time. Yeah, I mean, tourism is huge in South Dakota, and I think now has the possibility to even be bigger.
Absolutely, to be bigger, especially from the neighboring states. And that's the other thing. So someone goes there, spends $300 on the recreation, totally legal, but they have $100 left over. I don't know that they're going to be stopping at the border and putting it in the little trash compactor. And I don't know that we should be punishing them. I mean, I really have mixed feelings about this. I respect state laws totally. I'm not a user myself, but I just have really mixed feelings on this. And I wish there was a United States-wide series of laws for this, rather than this quilt work that we're developing, which South Dakota, again, just did. Colorado, totally legal. Wyoming, not. South Dakota, now totally legal. Minnesota, not. This is not, I think, fair to the general population. So,
on the other hand, many people believe in states' rights to pass this kind of legislation.
And I do, and ironically, right? I believe in that too. So,
yeah, and I hear what you're saying about the quilt, that it's not easy, but the fact is, these states are being bold. We must follow each of our state's laws and not dabble our fingers in a mess. But I think this is what slowly happens when change comes, is you don't see this wide change. I mean, we see this, if we look back through other things, even with prohibition of alcohol, this is what this looks like. And and I think it is, like you said, it's difficult, and it brings a lot of challenges to neighboring states, but it brings a lot of opportunity to South Dakota.
It does, and I congratulate the people for this. I think that being a European traveler a lot, and they're way ahead of us on this. I think it has to come. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. So, here it is. What does it mean for the hemp farmers? This is the big question, because, of course, I, as a hemp farmer, travel around with samples of hemp when I'm going from farm to farm or talking to people. I've never been stopped. I've never been questioned. I guess I look like, the rabbi and the, whatever, but that's still, we must remember that it was South Dakota where the hemp truck was going, from one state to another totally legally, and got stopped, and they never did get their truck or their hemp back yet today.
No. Actually, the other thing I was thinking about this weekend as I was thinking about South Dakota is, South Dakota may change nationally and globally in how they reconstructed how we think about credit card use in the world, right?
That's right.
And how they changed they made huge change. And I wonder if South Dakota is kind of the beginning of us seeing these doors open in many states, because I was not expecting our South Dakota, I was not expecting our South Dakota neighbors to not only vote for this in this way, both medical and recreational, but with such strong numbers.
That was the thing. That was the thing. I totally agree with you. I mean, was it that this virus thing that we're having, is part of it, that people sat at home and just have rethought it? Then the big vote, because of the other reasons to get out and vote this time, brought more people into the actual box to make checks marks. In that respect, some states might be saying, wow, we missed an opportunity here because our people were in the box and we didn't give them a chance to vote for our things. All of these are really valid questions. We will watch it unfold here as the months and years go by. And the other thing is we do must, boy, that's good English. We do really must remember. Oh, wow. They have almost 2 years here to put a plan in place. So don't be packing your bags and heading to South Dakota right now. It's a long time that they're going to slowly roll out how this is going to work and how the dispensaries are going to work for the medical side. And, it's going to be a long time before you're going to be able to walk into a store and walk out with some of this product. So it seems like they're going to do that in a very careful, controlled way, and I salute them for that. So I think they got a handle on it.
It will be interesting to see what happens, but I hope that, for them, they have reason to capture these windows faster than, let's say, a state like ours here in North Dakota. When they have over on a light year, right? They have 200,000 people coming to one of their events in their state. So they might surprise us all and move faster than we all think.
Well, you never know. And we salute them for that. Take a moment. Tell us about Prairie Products. We haven't seen you so much lately. So tell us a little about Prairie Products, because we got great hemp stuff available right here in the Red River Valley.
We do. So Prairie Products, we're doing great. You have not seen me. It's been both harvest here for a lot of hemp growers and drying, a lot of traffic, talking about what people want to do with their material. And then us kind of gearing up to do a lot of grinding of material too. So so we've been really happy to see what farmers have produced, and also we'll have an opportunity for our first time to work with some CBG material that was grown here locally in the valley. So we're really excited. But just so you know, we have a great amount of our products out there on the web for purchase. So we are making tinctures and lotion and a few other things that we really want people to try our products. We've seen some of our furthest orders have come in recently. We got an order from Mississippi. We've gotten a few from North Carolina. So we're starting to see our orders come in from places that we're really grateful. We're really grateful that all of you are buying and supporting North Dakota made product. I'm also going to be speaking tomorrow at the North Dakota Women's Business Conference.
All right.
So that will be interesting, and I'm excited about that. How is life at your end?
Well, I'm more and more sequestered as the numbers go up because I'm in a couple of the risk groups. And so, my food is brought here. Now they moved church onto Facebook. That's really good. But up to before, it was listening to it outside in the parking lot over one of those little low power radio stations. So you're the only family I have, people on this video screen, and that's okay. I have no complaint. Health is the number one thing. And I keep encouraging my friends and family, stay apart, but stay close through video and through the telephone and through other kinds of contact and stuff, because we have to get past this. And like I said, health is the most important thing. And so I'm very much alone, yet very much together with people through the medium. So life is good, and I have no complaint, except that I cook too much, because the second step of cooking is
eating. It was nice to see you today, John.
You too. You too. Let's have a great conversation tomorrow. That's all I can say is, just have a great conversation with your presentation. Grab some video clips if you can. And we, of course, will be on tomorrow with a big show, Chat CANNA. Wednesday, a short one. Thursday, we're going to be talking about mental health in the agriculture community with a very special guest. And tomorrow's main guest canceled, but we have a fill-in ready to go. We think we'll know by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Veronica. Always a joy.
Bye, you guys.
All right. See you, everybody.